Hey dudes again, it's Mon Mccool, amateur reviewer, professional fire starter. Yeah, Prodigy reference. If you don't know, it's okay. 90s thing. Anyways, thanks for tuning in again to see my continuation of my favorite albums of the 1990s. We're finally here at the top 10 mark. And if you didn't happen to catch my 20 through 11 favorite albums of the 90s, feel free to check that out if you're liking what you're seeing on here. So yeah, you know, I'm just gonna get right into it actually. Slipping in right in my number 10 spot is Modest Mouse's Lonesome Credited West. And you know, the more I talk about Modest Mouse, the more I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself. I don't know why that is, but it's like I mentioned with Yola Tango, Modest Mouse has this rare ability to encapsulate just about any genre of rock and perhaps aspects of country and hip-hop into their music as well, and just pull it off really brilliantly. Unlike Yola Tango, however, Isaac Brock quite literally kind of grew up as trailer trash, high school dropout, everything at one point of his life, and so you know, you get to hear that aspect of his life and all the adversities he goes through, and it's really no more prominent than in this album right here. I think what most people prefer in the Lonesome Credited West is the thrashy guitar jam out sessions that this album is really notorious for, but I always find myself enjoying the slow tempoed and reflective songs like Bankrupt on Selling just as much as anything else. If you ever have a chance to visit the western half of the United States, make sure to bring this album with you, for it captures the essence of the West like no other Modest Mouse album really, in my opinion. Definitely a lot of people's favorites from this band. So, yeah, number 9 spot goes to, well, I really can't name any other rap album that I have more fun listening to than Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers by the WuTang Clan. Not only does every rapper on this album have their unique characteristics and style of rapping, but they also have great symmetry when they play off each other, as if they were, well, I guess Voltron, as they say in the album. The Kung Fu inspired concept only makes 36 Chambers a more unique album that very few other rap albums can compare to in its originality. And you know, the fact that these rappers kind of grew up enjoying kung fu movies kind of, you know, makes it sound like they're having even a more fun time, kind of, I guess, rapping, doing their thing. And yeah, perhaps one of my favorite hip hop albums of all time, and I think it is. So yeah, coming in at my number 8 spot on this list is the Boards of Canada. Music Has the Right to Children. So, in case if you don't know who Boards of Canada is, they're Scottish intelligent dance music, techno electronic group. And what I find special about Music Has the Right to Children is that in all the otherworldly hip-hop beats and elements of robotic and mysterious sounds, there still does seem to exist this creative human presence that makes the album relatable even at its strangest moments. No song on Music Has the Right to Children sounds alike, which is it's kind of an oddity, I guess, considering most electronic albums. And every time I listen to this, it feels like I'm kind of off on a brand new adventure to discover things that no man has discovered before. And I know that sounds kind of silly and corny, but no other album really gives me this feeling of listening to it for the first time, and giving me a new feeling every time I hear it. So I guess that's what makes Music Has the Right to Children so special to me. Coming in my number 7 spot is the only album I do not own at this list, and it's Pure Post by Bjork. Perhaps, well, yeah, it is my favorite Bjork album, and I think this is because you really get to see and hear all sides of Bjork, which I guess kind of all include some sense of being crazy, but that's beside the point. Where Homogenic was a bit dark and grim, Post sounds so much livelier and fruitful. I wouldn't expect anything less imaginative and ambitious from one of the most, well, if not most, the fascinating artists of the past few decades. So, yeah. Number 6 spot, giving it to Pavement, Slanted, and Enchanted. And Slanted and Enchanted is kind of an anomaly. I hear a lot of people who complain about Pavement music as sounding lazy, too li-fi and rough, whereas Beavis and Butthead once said, they're not even trying. And you know what? Fuck those people. Slanted and Enchanted is fucking genius. There was no other indie rock album that was as quirky and complex and kept my attention quite like Slanted and Enchanted. It may just be the hipster inside of me speaking for itself, but I think this is perhaps the single most important album of the 90s. Definitely a huge impact on indie music to come. So, I don't think it's kind of hard to imagine a favorite albums list without including OK Computer by Radiohead. I guess it's back there. You can see my Radiohead OK Computer poster, but everything that fell flat on the bends was superbly perfected in OK Computer. Radiohead was able to really add more of an electronic texture and memorable melodies that still leave me astonished today. Just a fucking amazing album. Anybody who puts it in their number 1 spot, I totally agree with you. There's not much else like OK Computer. Just a band at its best, really. So, number 4, DJ Shadow, Introducing. And despite taking samples from a variety of discarded vinyl that were found in a dingy basement of a local record store, Introducing manages to keep its own resonance as its own nocturnal dreamscape. Whether Introducing is a hip-hop album or electronic album, it doesn't really matter. Introducing is a work of art like no other, and is the result of a man's obsession with cutting layers out of songs from mass amounts of vinyl and piecing them back together into his own creation during a depressing period of his life. Never get tired of this. So, we're in 3 territory right now, and it goes to Slint's Spiderland, an album I've actually reviewed before, and it is most definitely one of the most influential albums of the 90s, as well as one of the most gripping, if not. Quite different from anything else, Spiderland stood out for its amazing time signatures, whispered poetic lyrics, and feelings of paranoia and detachment that felt uncomfortably real. It's creepily unsettling, but it's in an extremely satisfying way. Yeah. Guess if you want to see what else I said about Spiderland, go check out the review. Just every track is fucking brilliant. Number 2 spot goes to Natural Milk Hotels in the Aeroplane Over the Sea. Also did a review of this quite a while ago, and I described it as a masterpiece that could only have been written by manic perfectionists like Jeff Magnum, who literally put his blood and his sweat, his tears, as well as his own dreams into it. The Aeroplane Over the Sea is a dizzying fuzz folk album that follows a surrealist story of Anne Frank. There was nothing quite like this album before its existence, and there still hasn't been anything else we can compare it to today. And my number one spot goes to, can you guess? Yep, My Bloody Valentine's Loveless. It wasn't really until the first time I listened to Loveless that I knew that guitars could practically have orgasms. I know Loveless has just been reissued, but its number one spot on this list is purely ironic. When Loveless first came out, it must have been perplexing as hell to people, and over 2 decades later, Loveless sound is still unmatched, in my opinion. The dreamy guitar creates this pink haze you can practically feel. It makes gravity really just feel non-existent. No experience for my ears has been more enjoyable listening to than Loveless, and I don't know if there ever will be anything like you. I don't know if anything will ever be like you, Loveless. I love you. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my top 20 albums of the 1990s. Once again, feel free to share what your favorites were. Love to hear what you guys would say, and if you want to complain about anything on my list, also feel free to do that. I don't mind. But yeah, 1990s. Kind of wish it was still that period of time, but still great music coming out today. So, hope you guys enjoyed my video. Take care and see you later, dudes. Stay cool. Stay cool like Mon Mccool.